All right, fellas, it is primer time. I had to jump ahead a little bit, but we got to get this show on the road. So I finished up my body work, had a couple of pinholes in it, so I came back and hit those, but I did it in 2 wipes. You can kind of see where I broke through on my original one, and then that's the second one. So I pulled it off 2 wipes. Yeah. I do have a little bit of ugliness on the inside of the jam, so I'm going to touch up just a little bit of primer in there on that edge, and then I'm going to hit the top and get this sucker done. When you're priming in an open shop like this, always turn your air pressure down low. It does make it a little bit thicker and kind of doesn't atomize the way it should, but it works way better so you don't blow overspray all over the car. These new HVLP guns are they work so well. They really do good. So they work okay on low volume or low air pressure. Nice and low. First coat, I'm going to put on just kind of not real heavy at all. I'm really just going to kind of get it covered. A little bit of primer on there. So went to some training last summer with PPG coatings, and a technique that I learned that I didn't know I just learned last summer is that typically when you're priming your area, you want to go past it on your first coat and then do smaller each coat and each increment to decrease the amount of rough edge. And in the past, I've always made it small, then bigger, and then biggest. And basically what we learned is that in this area over here where this textury stuff is, it'll actually trap air and other things because it's thick and ugly. So as you can see, I went past it, and then on my next prime, I'm gonna go just a little bit smaller. And then that way I'll stay within that. And so we'll let this kick, and then after I get my primer work done, I'm going to move back over to the bumper. I haven't touched it in a while, so I'm going to go ahead and strip it down and take it apart, and then get the new piece fitted up, make sure it fits where it's supposed to, everything's like it is, and then I will go ahead and sand it, repair it. Since it's got E-coat on it, this is a genuine part. I'm going to clean it with plastic cleaner, and then I'm going to wet sand it. I'm kind of old school. A lot of people do dry sand now with 500 or 600. I'm just going to wet sand it with probably 500 or 600, maybe 400, probably 400. And then come back with a gray Scotch-Brite, touch anything up. And then this will be completely ready for sealer and paint. Same on the body. I'll come back and do some 400 wet around this area. And then the rest of the deck lid I do in 1,000 grit. Quarter panel, I'll do the same thing. I'll do it in 1,000 grit wet, and then determine where I'm gonna make my blend. Probably somewhere in here, but I may just go ahead and clear the whole, since it's not that much more, depending on what the door weather stripping looks like, on how hard it is to mask off or remove. We'll look at that. That'll be the determining factor. But I may just go ahead and paint that whole roof rail or clear it, and then that way this will be done. Really nice job. Everything done the way it's supposed to. So we're at primer, a little bit longer, and we're going to get this thing in the booth, baby. All right, fellas. So I got the primer on the hatch, and turned out real nice. I got it covered up good, got the inside of the jam. So now I'm on to the next step, is my bumper. These little import bumpers are pretty much all the same, usually just held together with little 2-part clips and snapped together just like the bumper cover was when I took it off. So I'm just going to take my little clip tool, pop it in here, separate my little 2-part clip. That's a 2-part push pin. Big difference between just any old regular one. You can identify them when you look at the head. You can see the ring around them. pretty common. Typically, these have been what's been on the whole bumper, so they're all the same. So I'm just going to mix all of this hardware in the same bag with the bumper hardware because it's the same as the ones on the bottom. The only difference is the ones on the bottom are dirty, so I'll just put the dirty ones on the bottom one and the good clean ones on the top. Now, once I remove the push clips, all of these things are pretty close to the same, and you just pop them off. Sometimes you got to take a little clip tool and push the tang in, but for the most part, they'll just kind of pull apart. See how easy that was? There it is. Popped right out. There's the little ring, the retainers that would hold it on there. And toss that one. I got my new one here. Make sure it fits the same, and then I'm going to go ahead and prep this one out. We'll probably, like I was saying in the last video, I'm probably going to end up 600 wet, gray Scotch-Brite, and then she'll be ready for sealer and paint. So pretty much all snapped together on my little import stuff. And the lower cover here actually has some damage on it. I'm just going to clean it up though. Customer said she wasn't really worried about it, so I'm just going to clean it up and reuse it. I wish she would have just bought a new one, but it's okay. We'll clean it up a little bit. The thing about the textured stuff is we can't really spray those. You can dye them, but you can't really spray this. So all I'm going to do is clean it up, and then she may want to replace it later, but for now we're going to put it back together. So on to the next step. We're going to get ready to head to the paint booth. I'm going to go ahead and prep the quarter panel out. I'm going to go ahead and wet sand the quarter and then start eyeballing where I'm going to blend this old girl out. So probably either right in here or maybe here. I always pick a line. Probably go somewhere in here. We'll do a reverse mask and just blend it. But I'll just have to put a little bit of color right here to match my bumper, and then clear coat it and she'll be ready to roll. So the next videos are going to be over in the paint booth.